isn't this little envelope a nice change from the recycled envelopes that we get in the mail? Hello, it's Donna here from Australia, and I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can make this envelope. And I'm going to show you a few different ways to change up the window. So let's get started. What you're going to need to make this is some vellum, and this is for the window at the front. You could use a coloured vellum, or what I'm going to show you to do is how you can use other things for the window, and you'll need some glue. You don't even need a ruler or a pattern for this little envelope. You'll also need some book pages. This here is an old pattern selection book, and this is a beautiful A4 coffee dyed lace paper. There's a video on how I do this lace paper in the description box below. Plain book pages are perfect for this. You don't even need to have any pictures on them. And of course, music sheet pages. These are dictionary pages, or I should say Pictionary pages. And I have these as single pages available in my shop. You can use the good old-fashioned phone books. And I'm also going to show you a unique way you can use your ledger pages. I'm going to start the first envelope with a A4 size sheet of paper. The size of your paper will determine the size of your envelope. First step, fold the left-hand side of your paper over and do a finger crease. Now we're going to leave a space here for a window, and then come out to the right-hand side, fold it towards the left and do a finger crease. Now I'm going to tear off the paper here, but I'm going to tear it off so there's a little border left to the right. So I'm going to fold it back over on itself, and you can make this piece here as wide as you like. Depends on how wide you want your window. When you open it up, if you fold it and crease it again, this makes it a lot easier to tear. So just tear it off. So it just gives you a border on the left, border on the right, and a window gap in between. This is the top of my envelope. I'm going to make this my flap, but I'm going to turn it around so it's facing me. Just fold it over and make the flap as wide as you like and do a finger crease. Turn it back around so the bottom is now facing us, and we're going to fold the bottom up. So we just got to do exactly the same as we did at the top. I'm turning it over so you can see the size of the envelope, and I've creased it. So now we need to add that border to it. So once you've put your crease in there, you need to fold it back as to how wide you want that bottom flap to be. You can tear it off while it's all folded, but I like to open it up, re-crease it, and then tear it off. And I like my tear to be a bit irregular too. So when you fold it back up, left, then right, then the bottom and the top, you're left with this little window. 7.5 inches wide by approximately 5.5 inches high, but you could do it 8 wide by 6 high. You can change these measurements, and that will change your window size. I'm going to use vellum for the window in this envelope, and the good thing about this is you can use your scrap pieces of vellum. I'm going to make my vellum shorter than the top flap fold, and you cut your bottom piece off with the fold at the bottom of the pocket. I also like showing the tear at the top of the window. It just looks good with the torn edges of the envelope. So open your envelope back up and put a bit of glue on the vellum, on the edge of the vellum and the edge of the paper, because that way you know you're going to catch both sides down. When you put the glue on the wide side, don't go too high at the top or the bottom, because you do not want to glue your pocket closed. I just put a tiny little bit of glue on the inside of the folds at the bottom, and then I glue the whole bottom down. I like it when I fold the bottom up, I get those two jagged layered looks. You'll know what I mean when you make your own. Now when you do the top, you don't put any glue in these folds at the top because you need to use it as a pocket, and you can round the corners. Put a crease in the top so it lays nice and flat, and we've got a wonky but cute envelope. I'm going to show you some variations. This is the music sheet one, and look at the difference of the size of the window. And that's because your folds determine the size of your window. This one I'm going to put a pale yellow vellum window in it, and I'm going to use the distress ink around the edge. I glue it down exactly the same way I done the first one, and don't glue the top here so you can use it as your pocket. And sometimes when you use a music sheet or a book page, your top flap might have a bare strip on it. Just get a piece of washi tape or your favorite ink stamp and stamp a pattern over the top. The next one is the 𝗃𝗶𝗱𝗲 book sheet, and I'm just going to show you how I select my vellum colours. I put a few different colours over the top just to see which one I think is going to look the best. Sometimes it's just best to stick to the plain old white and then add some matching washi tape to it. I like using this transparent washi tape because I can still see the image behind it. This book's really old, so the pages are not that glossy. They're perfect. I love this one. Not all of you are going to have vintage papers or postcards, so just substitute with another paper and a journal card. Just put your postcard on top of your paper page and make sure there's room to the left and right of it. Fold the left hand side over and then fold the right hand side over and then fold the bottom up. Test fit. We've got to make sure this card fits in. Perfect. And then glue this part at the bottom only. You're only going to be gluing the two flaps at the bottom. You're not going to be putting any glue on the middle part near the window because we're not adding a vellum window here. Just add glue to this little flap here, not in the middle, and this little left-hand flap here. The postcard is going to be both the window and the decorative ephemera inside the envelope. So then the postcard just slips inside and it's held in place by the bottom flap of the envelope. Then you can turn over the top flap of your envelope. I really do love this one. I think it turned out perfect. You can embellish the back if you wanted to, or you can just leave it like it is. This style looks really good. The next window, I'm going to use the smallest doily I have in my stash, and I'm going to make it a double layer because they're often flimsy. So just put a small amount of glue on your bottom doily and lay a second doily over the top. Just match up all the holes the best you can. I'm just going to cut off the right hand side of my doily so I've got a straight edge, and this is so that I can place it in the middle of the window. When you're adding your glue here, just be a little careful because you don't want to glue your envelope closed. Use the smallest amount of glue. You only want to catch the paper to the doily, nowhere else. So glue the right hand side first. I'm just using my fingers as a guide and gluing between them and putting less glue than I need, and then I can come back and add a bit of glue just by lifting my top sheet. Now for this one, I can glue all the way across the bottom, but I'm making sure my glue is more to the top. Doubling up the doily makes this pocket nice and strong and perfect if you want to send some happy mail. These are die cuts. I found them in Mum's stash and I've been wanting to use them for a while, and I thought let's try them as a window. Just get some plastic or some non-stick paper or something so you do not accidentally glue your pocket closed, and put it behind your die cut and then just glue it in place, and this one makes an awesome pocket. I'll show you later what it looks like with some goodies in it. And this one here, I used the yellow pages, the telephone book page, and I put these little mini tabs on them. There's a video on how to make these tabs in the description box below. This one here, I used a book page, but I tore the flap off the top and I tore a shape in the front of the envelope as well. And I also stamped a rose on the front. So if you've got any plain book pages, just stamp something on it to shush it up a little bit. There are so many variations that you could do to embellish your envelopes. I've been going to the op shop. If I find any unusual playing cards there, I grab them. Look at these beautiful ones, the circle ones with the gold edge on them. They look amazing in this envelope, and you can see straight through this pocket. And this green rose looks beautiful in here. These are not from the op shop. I bought these on Etsy. These are authentic vintage game cards. And this is just a game card score pad. You know, like, so if you find anything like this, use them in your journals or your envelope pockets. If you want to give a couple away for Happy Mail, you can tie a little bow on them and they look adorable. I have another video here you might like to watch on how to make these style envelopes using book pages.